So welcome everybody again to ActiveRain University. So we're going to have a blog review class today. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at blog posts that you guys have written. So this post is a little bit different than kind of your traditional neighborhood or subdivision type of a post. And it's not necessarily focused just on a real estate agent. So we've got Darren, who's a lender. And this is a great post for a lender. VA loans for Fort Leonard Wood. So Fort Leonard Wood, an army or military installation out there, and he's writing a post about VA loans for Fort Leonard Wood. I think this, if I was a lender, this is exactly the kind of post that I would be writing. So again, his title is really good. VA loans. I might have taken out the word for, but he's probably all right with that. If he was going to button this up a little bit, I would probably remove the word for. Again, I want my keyword phrase to kind of be dependent on the way that people search, and people don't use a lot of those, those extra small words in their search. They're generally just looking for, geography and subject matter. In this case, VA loans is the subject matter. Fort Leonard Wood would be the geography. So, great subject that he's used here. I might get 4 out of there. And then again, I'm going to go through here now, and I'm just going to look. How many times does he use VA loans for Fort? And so he uses it once there at the bottom, and then our previous example here at the top. So he's only got it in here twice. So somewhere else in this blog post, he needs to get his keyword phrase in there. All right? Then as I look at this post, I notice he's got these big, long links in here, and it looks like the first 2 links that he gives you are not going to be calls to action for his business. They're both .gov sites, which means he's linking them off to some other place where they can get good information, but it's not a call to action or a lead capture opportunity for him. And so I would, real early in this post, I would have a link in here that said, if you'd like to apply for a VA loan for Fort Leonard Wood, or click here to apply for a VA loan for Fort Leonard Wood, where the words VA loan for Fort Leonard Wood were the anchor text link, right? That's using one of those kind of fundamentals that we talk about in the SEO classes. We want to get a link in our blog post. Let me show you how he would do this. So I'm going to log in as him. I'm actually going to come in here and edit this post now. So I'm going to get in here and edit this post as Darren. I need to get an extra usage of VA loans for Fort Leonard Wood. So the first step in the process for getting a VA loan for Fort Leonard Wood is getting your COE or your DGD, right? So I've gotten that third instance now of my keyword phrase in here. The certificate of eligibility is simply a form that states you're eligible usually via home loans. You can get it online by following the instructions found here. Maybe right in here I'm going to say you can apply for a VA loan for Fort Leonard Wood. Now right here, that's going to be a link to somewhere, and I mean, it's probably going to be to a more specific page than just MidwestVALoans.com, but for now, I'm going to use that link. If they have a link or a page on their website where somebody can actually apply for a loan, I would link to that page. But for now, I'm just going to use right. So now I've got my anchor text link in here that uses my keyword phrase. Okay. Now these big long links, I don't like them. I don't want those big URLs in here. So I'm going to do something like, I'm just going to get rid of that, and I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to make that the link. So I'm going to create the anchor text out of those words. I'm going to come in here, and that's where we're sending them, right? There's no sense to have that big long URL out there. Now we're going to open that in a new window because that's not our website. We want them back. Get the forms you need for your VA loan. Insert. And then I would want to do something similar with this. I don't want them big, long URLs in there. I want to get them out of here. From this website, so they're telling them to head over here and get whatever the other thing that they're trying to something like that. So we clean them big long links up. This deal right down here. So MidwestVALoans.com. I don't know what they're necessarily trying to get their own website to rank for, but whatever it is. And really, any time we have a chance to link back to our own website, we should take advantage of it, but we should take advantage of it with good anchor text. So again, I'm going to get in here and link back to their website. Yeah, we want to add HTTP. We could open that in the same window, and we'll call this. Now, whatever they were trying to rank for, if it's Midwest VA Loans, great. Then we're going to use that as the anchor text. We're going to use that as the title. Man, okay, let's just get over here for 1 second, because we talked about embedding a video, and if you have video, I would absolutely be putting it into my content. So let's get over here and look at his video for a second, and let me see, does he have something that, I mean, he's got all kinds of videos in here, all right? So let's say he wanted to take this particular video. I'm going to share this video on the blog post. I'm going to embed it. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Watch, we got this new feature on ActiveRain. So I'm going to come over here. Let's just say he wanted to embed it right here. So we got this new, this is brand new. I've never used this actually, so I hope this works. Boom. Oh, I'm going to select a channel on the topic, so we're going to go, this is new too, so the fact I edited this made us select a channel, so we're going to call this Mortgage and Finance, and we're going to call this VA Loans. Boom. Now we've got his video in here, and he could choose to pick some other video. VA loan documents you need is the one that we happen to throw in here this time. But maybe he's got a video where he's actually talking about Fort Leonard Wood specifically, or he kind of tailors the video to getting a VA loan if you're on the base there at Fort Leonard Wood. That would probably be the video that I would want to throw in here instead. But okay, so now we've got 3 usages of the keyword phrase. We actually got 4 because I added this one in, and I also added our anchor text use of the keyword phrase. So he's got his 4. This is a little bit better now. So if we go over here and we look at VA, actually I think it was VA loan for what, earlier when I did this, he's gonna raise, right? The next time the search engine comes back and finds this thing, they're gonna get, I just looked at this 10 minutes ago. This is funny because it's moving on us. Okay, so, but again, he only had 1 usage of his keyword phrase, or 2. He didn't, he had these funky links in here. He didn't have his anchor text. in there. Another thing is that Google Plus, right? Now, it looks like he has it, but when we do the actual Google Plus, and let me get in here because this is the most important part of setting up this Google Plus. Is we need to check to make sure it's actually working. And so what we can do is we can take one of our links. So I grabbed the link from his blog and went all the way down, and there's this little test that we can run to see if we've got things set up right. And so when we run that test for this particular piece of content, it's not working, right? Authorship is not working. So something's not set up right here on his profile, which means we need to get in and fix that, or he needs to get in and fix that. And I'm logged in as him, and I believe, I kind of was looking at this earlier, I think the reason is he's got this extra little bit of stuff in there that's not supposed to be there. And I believe now, once we save that, let's test this one more time. It's still not working. So he just doesn't have something quite set up right in here. And the other thing would be to come over here and look at his Google Plus. And so that's not even his, he's got something in there that's not quite working. So Darren's going to want to get that fixed, right? Again, this is letting the search engine know I'm the guy that wrote this. And as he continues to write content, they continue to see him as this expert on VA loans. They realize all the stuff he's writing is about VA loans, and they start to rank his collective content better because he's the author of it, right? They can start to tie all these different posts that Darren's written together. And if Darren has, 100 posts out there about VA loans, they're going to start, Google's going to start to realize this guy knows what he's talking about as it relates to VA loans. One of the things that also concerned me about this post before I made those kind of upgrades to say, hey, he's got it in here 4 times now, is I noticed that I think it was this phrase right here, COE or your DD214 forms, like that phrase is in here 1, 2, 3. It was in here 3 times, where his keyword phrase is only in here twice before we made the updates. So again, you always want to make sure that your keyword phrase ends up being the most common phrase on the page, because we're sending off conflicting kind of information to the search engines, right? Make sure your keyword phrase ends up being the most common phrase on the page. And now that we've added it that 3rd and 4th time, it now becomes the most common phrase on the page. All right, any questions about that particular? Yeah, Steve says he's midway down on page 2 on Chrome. When I did this, when I ran that search earlier, he was on the first page. I think I ran something like that.
So, Bob, what happens if you mention a keyword more than 5 times?
Okay, it could potentially take you completely off. It could substantially suppress you in the results. I mean, if you have a 1,500-word post or a 1,200-word post and you mentioned it 6 times, you might be all right. If you have a 300-word post and you mentioned it 6 times, there's a higher likelihood that they're just going to look at this thing and say, does this even make sense that this exact phrase would be in here this many times? And a lot of times when you get those extra usages of it in there, they don't necessarily need to be in there, and they look like, right, to a real person, they look like keyword stuffing. And so as the search engines get better at kind of understanding, the way we really write, the way people expect to read something, they're going to realize, these things, they're not kind of organically in the content. They're being forced in there, and they can potentially knock you out. So not a good thing to use your keyword phrase more than 5 times. Somewhere in that 3 to 5 range. In this case, we ended up using it for him 4, whereas before he had only had it in there twice.
And what about the video? Is the placement of the video where you would put it? Would you move it up?
I would have my video below the majority of the text content. Okay, again, you're always kind of thinking of these things from both sides, consumer side and search engine side. You know, if it made sense to get it in there a little bit higher from a, you know, when a real person lands on this thing perspective, go ahead and put it a little higher. But I would keep my video content for the most part below my written content.